stop.
If you can't tell, this is the Deuce and Ace movie review for Gemini Man.
I'm Deuce.
I'm Ace.
And this is Deuce and Ace, Bro to the Movies.
What's that? What are you doing?
My brain froze. I just want to say trailer reaction. Alright, so, we just came from seeing,
Gemini Man.
Who was that, by Paramount? Sony? Universal?
By Blank Movie Studios Gemini Man? I don't know. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we just came back from seeing Gemini Man, starring Will Smith,
Spoilers.
Will Smith, and Will Smith. Just kidding, it's not that many Will Smiths. But, you know the premise of the movie, Will Smith versus Will Smith. With,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Check her out in Birds of Prey.
Or don't.
Wong from Doctor Strange.
That's not it. I think his name is actually Benedict Wong.
Yeah, Benedict Wong. Yeah. And what was
the bad guy?
Yeah.
What?
Spoiler. Pause. And Clive Owen. Pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the movie. So what we have is a ex-Marine, sharpshooter extraordinaire, like soldier like none other, in Will Smith, his character Henry. And so clearly, somebody wanted to make a copy of him for their just desserts. And
what?
I'm not good with idioms, so
not good with anything apparently.
But yeah, so that's the movie. There's the confrontation, and then the resulting story.
That's how all movies work.
This is directed by Ang Lee. Ang Lee.
Put some respect on it.
And he did Life of Pi. He did the original Hulk movie.
The garbage Hulk movie.
2003 Hulk movie was not garbage.
It was terrible. Easily one of the worst superhero movies ever.
Okay, well, yeah, so I think the trailer says visionary mind of Ang Lee. So this movie, it has its ups and it has its downs. And, as always, we're going to do the spoiler-free portion up front. That's what's happening now. And the spoiler section on the back end. So we're not going to say too much about the movie now. But I will say that I enjoyed this film. Definitely, it was, it's a lot of the same out there in movies, be it comedy, be it superhero films, be it whatever. But this was, to me, a palate cleanser. It wasn't the best tasting film, but it definitely cleansed the palate.
I also enjoyed this film, but for different reasons than Deuce, apparently. I think this was very much of the same that's out there. This would have fit in like your late 90s, early 2000s action movie. Your Jason Bourne movies, your Mission Impossibles, your kind of like Bad Boys. No really new ground tread of this movie. It was fun. It was kind of slow at points. The acting was pretty good. And the effects were kind of garbage all around.
Yeah, this is 2019, October 2019. We've seen some great de-aging come from Marvel. Your Tony Starks, your Ego the Living Planet, your not Clark Duncan, your Michael Douglas. Whoever they de-age,
your Nick Furies.
Yeah, you guys totally should have contacted Marvel, Disney, paid money for the proprietary software or whatever, because the CGI in this thing was wonky.
If they're not if the two Will Smiths aren't in the same scene together, you can't tell that much. But face to face or just next to each other, it's very clear that they do not look similar.
Well, they look similar, but you can tell that the young Will Smith is clearly CGI. And people were talking about Genie. Y'all need to be talking about this. This is Henry Cavill Justice League level bad.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. It just looked like he had a different facial structure. His cheekbones were different. It was that weird, his face was too clear, if that makes sense.
They couldn't get his lips right. I like to draw, but the hardest part for me when I draw is drawing the mouth and the lips. So I guess, professional CGIers have that issue too.
Alright. I don't draw, so I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yes, but so overall, it was kind of a predictable movie. Again, nothing groundbreaking, but just a nice, enjoyable film. If you like Will Smith, and I know I was, slicing him hard in the Aladdin review.
Yeah, he was.
But, this reminded me of old Will Smith movies. I Am Legend, I, Robot, Hancock to an extent.
After Earth, am I right?
No, gosh, no. Well, I mean, I guess technically because it's like a sun-like figure, but...
Yeah, it was very similar.
After Earth was trash. A conglomerate of these films, I say mostly like a mixture of Hitch and... Not Hitch.
Yeah, it was nothing like
Hitch. Hancock and I, Robot. Would that be a good assessment?
No, more of I say like a Bad Boys 2 and I, Robot. And to an extent, I Am Legend. Those three.
And Hancock. But, yeah.
No, Hancock is just a fun movie. It has nothing to do with this movie.
Yes. Now, positive for this film was the action. And it was kind of lacking on the action. It has a lot of shooting scenes, sniping scenes, but like straight action, like hand-to-hand combat, they went in. Like, it's a scene that they showed in the trailer where they're on the motorcycles. That scene goes in.
That scene was cool up to an extent, but then, like, kind of spoilers. Young Will Smith starts like literally fighting him with a motorcycle. He hits him in the face with it.
Come on,
he's like doing motorcycle foo. I'm like, what is going on? Right?
Save it for the spoilers, man.
I try to say it was kind of strange, and like some of the later scenes, they were just shot in really dark places, so you couldn't really see the hand to hand that much.
Kind of like Transformers, like
yeah.
There's something going on, but it's kind of like
you can't tell. Exactly
we know the CGI is wonky, so let's just turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Yep. So anything else? But without the spoilers, bro.
I'm saying the directing was really good from the visionary mind of Ang Lee. It's the one scene, as we talk about the motorcycle scene, it's just like one long take, a tracking shot going from, they're like jumping down rooftops, going down up from the rooftop, coming down on the motorcycle, following him, then it goes to like a first person perspective from them on the motorcycle. Just a really cool scene, cool shots.
A lot of good shots, a lot of good scenes. Now the CGI aside from Will Smith, young Will Smith, the sets look nice.
I didn't think it looked bad. Like, you could clearly tell that it was fake. And me and Deuce were talking about it. Like, they said that they shot this on some special frame rate or something that our American movie theaters, we can't access it. So it was shot on a certain type of film that we can't see, and it looked like that. It's the one scene where, like, one of the beginning scenes on the train, and it, like, folds in and out, and you're like, whoa, that's kind of weird.
Nah, man, that was like an effect because the train is going by, but it's like you could tell like they filmed it on a concave lens, so it goes by like that.
Well,
so
whatever
it comes in and out.
I was not feeling the effects for most of this movie. Like the explosions seem fake. Some scenes like the action seems super sped up. Just I like the acting and I like some of the action scenes, but a lot of the effects were no bueno to me.
To each their own. I think it's time to drop these scores on them, bro.
All right.
3, 2, 1, 7. Watch our intro video to know what that's all about.
I don't know, so as lame as that. We can't really do it seated.
Alright, so Deuce Ace. Deuce Ace.
Oh.
Deuce Ace, we give Gemini Man a 7 out of 10. To be honest, I would have given it an 8 out of 10, but the CGI on young Will Smith was, in my opinion, so bad, I had to take a whole point off. It is pretty bad, like, as the movie goes on. So, 7 out of 10, man.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. I would have given it a 7 out of 10, because that's what I gave it, so.
Alright. Time for the spoiler review. If you have not seen the movie,
go check it out now.
Come back, subscribe, like, all that jazz, and, yeah, spoilers.
I mean, it's not that much to talk about, really. From the trailers, Will Smith is being tracked down by Will Smith because, I don't remember because someone he killed, like his handler had him kill someone who was actually not a bad guy or something.
Yeah, his handler, Will Smith, or Hank, or Henry, works for the DIA, and so...
And that stands for?
The Defense Intelligence Agency.
I don't know what it stands
comparable to the CIA.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Defense Intelligence Agency, something like that.
I don't think that's true.
Anyway, so he works for the DIA, and he kills the dude. Pretty cool. Snipe that Bama. Turns out that Bama is not a bioterrorist. He's just a biologist who works for this science company, and the science company wants him dead because some proprietary cloning stuff. And so turns out that the main guy for this private cloning industry is Clive Owen and what's his name? Claire Vance?
Something Varys.
Claire Varys.
I don't think it's Claire. That's a girl's name. Clay Varys.
Clay Varys. And so, you know, he turns out Will Smith's character Henry, you know, worked under him in Somalia and Iraq and all that stuff. And so he's like, oh man, he's the best soldier. What would it be like if, you know, if people didn't have to die and lose their loved ones, and I could send all these clones of Will Smith to die.
Wait, but none of this was explained until like the very end of the movie, so we have no motivation. We just think that he's like, and one of the Russians too, he's like, yeah man, he just wants to sell them and make money. Then at the end he's like, oh well actually I just want to protect American families. Kind of felt tacked on.
Yeah.
So, points knocked off for that, you know, bad villain.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much what this movie has going for it is
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I
he
mean,
brings his A game.
He brings his A+ game.
A minus.
A plus minus plus. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say any other actor, but like, I mean, who could, if you had put Tom Cruise in this, you put Denzel Washington in this, you put anyone, it wouldn't work. Like, this movie is just Will Smith being Will Smith. Not that he's not acting, but it's, you know, his charismatic self, and then him pretty much playing his own version of Jaden Smith. Because Junior, and it's not Henry Jr., it's Clay Jr. It's kind of weird. You know, he's very, like, he's a robot. I mean,
he's not a robot, he's a clone.
He's a clone, but he's just been trained to kill.
Also, you could tell Will Smith, like, they were trying to make his voice higher pitched, but it just felt jarring the whole movie. Like, oh, he sounds like an old man trying to sound like a young man.
Yeah, so I mean, it had its flaws, but it was just cool. Like, we talked about the motorcycle scene, and the other hand-to-hand action. Like, this dude was like on, like, he had the Captain America super serum. Like, he was going to a body, he was lifting up bikes and all this stuff.
Anyone could lift up a bike.
Right? Not a bike, a moped, dog. This dude lifted up a moped and threw that joint.
No, he did. He popped a wheelie and jumped off it, and it flew into him. He didn't throw a moped into him.
Okay, but
he had no kind of super soldier.
Dog, all the parkour stuff. This dude was jumping and rolling. This dude punching like.
That's like the super soldier. Andrew was doing this stuff. Junior didn't do anything.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
It's the spoiler talk. You can talk about the super soldier at the end.
Oh, dang.
There's a third clone.
Yeah, it turns out and I remember in the movie, there's other guys like hopping. I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be another Will Smith. Yeah. Turns out there's another Will Smith.
And this one has no feelings whatsoever. He can't feel pain. He no emotion.
Yeah, they're like, oh, so it's alright. We could just murder this one. He was like, no, don't shoot Junior, but sure, just blast the mess out of this guy.
Yeah.
I don't get the morals of this movie that much.
No, I'm saying so. He was overpowered. Like, this dude was OG. But the opening scene where you first see Junior, this dude is just climbing down walls. He jumps and rolls.
He's doing nothing that a regular parkour person couldn't do. Like, he's like a high fitness soldier.
And he just falls on the ground. Even Will Smith gets smacked with a motorcycle.
Will Smith is 50 years old in this.
I'm saying Henry's character gets smacked with a motorcycle, and it's like, you smack me with a motorcycle, I'm dead. Like, you smacked him with the motorcycle.
Well, I said tip-top shape, dog. You're not at that level.
Say something. You watching, say something in the comments below.
Are you fat?
But, no, dog, like, you gotta rewatch that scene, the bike scene, and then fighting before. Like, that joint was some straight Dragon Ball Z Budokai stuff, dog. Like, it was. I enjoyed it, but it was unrealistic. These are not superpower beings.
Yeah, and they weren't fighting like superpower beings. I will say the frame rate felt like it was sped up, so it seemed like the impact was stronger. It seemed like they were moving faster than normal. But you could clearly tell these are just like high combat soldiers.
Yeah. From another planet or something. But, I mean, I enjoyed it.
It was cool, but it wasn't anything special. Like, and this is another gripe I have with the movie. If you've seen, like, the Bourne movies, Mission Impossible movies, it's just the same type of movie as that. The same plot device, like, oh, the government's out to get me. I'm a one-man rogue army now. Oh, I gotta go get my friends together.
Pull one out for Benedict Wong, man.
Yeah, they did my man Wong dirty.
He got him around everywhere. He was the transport, and then they just like, all right.
Yeah, he was a funny friend, cracking jokes, and they're like, all right, jump out the car. He like, what? and just got hit with a rocket launcher.
Killed that dude.
And another thing that I didn't particularly like about the movie, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, her character, it felt like she didn't really do anything. Like, it's like the one scene she goes like, oh, I'm gonna knock this dude's teeth out, and she like rips his teeth out, I guess, off screen. But then for the rest of the movie, she's just kind of a plot device. She's like, oh, I'm hurt. Oh, Henry saved me. Henry's like, hey, she doesn't need to be into this. So she's just like tied up and like not really do anything until the very end of the movie where she's shooting guns again. Just seems like they just kind of threw her to the side. She could have used some plot development, a little more agency for me to like it.
I mean, it was what it was, you know. Wasn't looking for her to be a major character. I mean, they had some sparks and some chemistry, but they never got romantically involved, so that was nice. You know, subverting expectations.
What was that?
But, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was just,
it was just a fine action movie. If you're looking, like, if you and some friends want to go and see a movie, you don't want to think about it too much, just go see Gemini Man.
Yeah, go shoot the breeze.
I believe so.
All right, great.
1 out of 3.
Yeah, so again, Deuce and Ace gave it a 7 out of 10, and that's that.
All right, anything else?
Not at all, son.
I'm not your son.
Bro.
Not your bro.
I'm Deuce.
I'm Ace.
And this has been Deuce and Ace, Bro to the Movies. Out.
Hey, Deuce and Ace here. Thanks again for sticking around for the whole video.
We're so glad you did. We hope you enjoyed the movie reviews, the trailer reactions, the funny bros, and the quality content. If you do, be sure to subscribe, check out these videos, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bro to the Movies.
Deuce and Ace.